Born in 116 AC during the reign of her uncle Viserys I, Baela and her twin sister Rhaena were daughters to the rogue prince Daemon Targaryen and Laena Velaryon. Named after her grandfather Baela Targaryen, the father of Viserys and Daemon, Baela was born in Pentos, but soon moved to Driftmark and was presented to the royal court of King's Landing in 117 AC. In 118 AC, Baela was betrothed to Jacaerys Velaryon, the firstborn son of Princess Rhaenyra, the chosen heir of King Viserys, and Laenor Velaryon, the brother of her mother. Yet Jace had brown hair and eyes, leading many to believe his actual father was Rhaenyra's champion Sir Harwin Strong. Though born small and sickly, Baela grew to be tall, lean, and beautiful, with silver white hair and purple eyes. Known to be wild, fearless, willful, quick to anger, and somewhat boyish, she cut her hair short so it would not whip her face when riding. In addition to having a pet monkey, her interests included wrestling squires, dancing, hawking, riding, and flying on her dragon Moondancer, though it was too small to mount for much of her childhood. In 120 AC, tragedy struck House Velaryon when Baela's mother Laena Velaryon died in childbirth, and her uncle Laenor was supposedly killed in a dispute with his friend and possible lover Carl Corey. Though Daemon grieved for the loss of his wife, he soon married Rhaenyra Targaryen, and so their families grew closer and more intertwined. After the death of Viserys I in 129 AC, the Green faction of Queen Consort Alicent Hightower crowned her son Aegon king, beginning the dance of the Dragon Civil War when the Black faction on Dragonstone crowned the chosen heir Rhaenyra Targaryen queen. With Daemon and the Velaryons firmly allied to the Blacks, Baela became a staunch supporter of Rhaenyra, rejecting any suggestion of departing Dragonstone, even after her sister was sent to the Vale of Arryn for safety, as she wished nothing more than to fight next to her betrothed Jacaerys, though her dragon was not yet large enough to ride. Baela also wished to wed him immediately, but sources say Jacaerys wanted to wait until after the war. Unfortunately for the Blacks, Jace died during the Battle of the Gullet in 130 AC, after which Baela sought to make a larger contribution to the war effort, finally able to mount Moondancer later that year, regularly flying from King's Landing to Dragonstone and Driftmark. After grieving for Jace, Baela embraced her wild side, playing kissing games with squires and once letting a kitchen scullion feel inside her jerkin, only to be caught and have to beg Sir Robert Quince not to remove the servant's hand. When word reached Dragonstone about a dragon battle in the sky and the fall of Grey Ghost, Baela was eager to investigate, but the Castellan would not allow it, confining her to chambers. Though it was believed the wild dragon Cannibal was behind the death of Grey Ghost, in truth it was Sunfire, who along with his master Aegon had snuck onto the island and soon took it over. Ever defiant, Baela escaped her room and mounted Moondancer to meet Aegon and Sunfire in battle, resulting in the death of Moondancer, while Baela suffered burns but survived and was imprisoned. Badly wounded, Sunfire died sometime after the battle, while the claimant king broke his legs and remained in pain the rest of his life. Though Aegon wanted to execute the princess, he instead used her as a bargaining chip when he captured King's Landing, offering to free Baela if Lord Corlys joined his cause. Left with little choice, Corlys agreed, yet while Baela was transported to King's Landing, she remained in chains, as they feared she might attack Aegon. Still in danger from the angry and increasingly erratic king, Baela was rescued by the agents of Larys Strong, who now realized the defeat of the Greens was inevitable, and so betrayed and possibly poisoned Aegon, allowing Rhaenyra's son Aegon III to be crowned king. When Cregan Stark descended upon the capital during the Hour of the Wolf, he was determined to punish those who aided the Greens or acted dishonorably, and so was set to execute the men who rescued Baela, prompting her to pick up a sword in their defense, an action that so amused Lord Cregan he let the men live. When Lord Stark sought to execute Corlys Velaryon, again Baela involved herself, appealing directly to Aegon III to spare his life. However, the Fool Mushroom claims the real reason Lord Stark spared the Sea Snake was thanks to the influence and seduction of Alysanne Blackwood. Throughout the early reign of Aegon III, Baela and Rhaena became darlings of court, often hosting visitors and representing the crown, but Baela remained wild and free-spirited, known to race in the streets, swim the Blackwater, drink with gold cloaks, bet on the rat pits, and would disappear for days at a time. sometimes returning with unique individuals she wished at court, like a juggler, a blacksmith's apprentice, a legless beggar, a street conjurer, a hedge knight's squire, twins from a brothel, and a troop of mummers. After the death of Lord Corlys in 132 AC, the small council considered both granddaughters as possible heirs to the Iron Throne, and while Baela often mocked suitors, they decided she should marry a respectable noble like Thaddeus Rowan. But she had no interest in such an arrangement, and so fled to Driftmark, where she married her cousin Lord Alan Velaryon, thereby proving to the council she was unworthy of the throne, causing them to prefer Rhaena, marrying her to Sir Corwyn Corbray. In 133 AC, the Hand of the King Lord Unwin Peake schemed to arrange a marriage between his daughter and Aegon III, but Baela and Rhaena disrupted these plans, introducing the king to his future wife Daenerys Velaryon. In 134 AC, Baela gave birth to her first child, Laena Velaryon, and in 135 AC, consoled her sister for the death of her husband, Sir Corwyn, during a political dispute in the Vale, while at the same time ensuring Rhaena did not mount her dragon mourning to seek revenge. At times troubled with a rocky marriage, Baela became jealous when she heard rumors of her husband's affair with Alejandro Martell of Dorne, but they eventually reconciled, and by 136 AC, she was pregnant with their second child. As the small council arranged for Aegon III to embark upon a progress across the kingdom, Baela made plans to join them, regardless if she was invited. A special thanks to all those who contribute to CivilizationEx, like Tamika the Black Wolf, Drac the Bronze, Delacruz the Freed, and Kristen Greeneyes of the Company of the Cat. If you'd like to help the channel, be sure to give a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and click on the links below, or else go to patreon.com/CivilizationEx, where you can gain early access to videos and watch the Patreon-only series, Heroes of Lore and Legend.